Friends, in light of the urgent news that has spread across many countries regarding a large number of unidentified flying objects observed over airports and military bases in the USA, the UK, Germany, Russia, and Ukraine, our organization, which researches space and maintains real contact with friendly extraterrestrials, decided to address the current situation live. We asked the extraterrestrials why our cosmic friends are sending drones over military facilities and whether they are involved in these events. We have a well-known contactee in this field, a clairvoyant, or more accurately, a psychic, named Irina Podzarova. She is not just a psychic, she has had real encounters with extraterrestrials. Several years ago, extraterrestrials implanted special technology directly into her body. This allows Irina to communicate with them telepathically, just as we talk to each other over the phone. So we asked Irina what is currently happening on our planet Earth. Assisting Irina in this emergency broadcast is Maxim Rusin, the leader of the Cassiopeia project from the city of Voronezh.
Dear friends, good day to everyone. We actually have an emergency episode of the Cassiopeia project. We have been overwhelmed with a flood of calls and letters about unidentified flying objects in the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. A huge number of unidentified flying objects have been observed in the United States. That is why we decided to invite our star friends today to talk and find out everything about these objects. What are these objects? Whose objects are they? Why are they flying? Why are they appearing? So I am immediately inviting Irina Podzarova while I will be asking questions off screen.
Hello, dear friends. Good day. Today is an unscheduled emergency broadcast. The topic of this broadcast is the numerous videos coming from the United States of America sent to us by people asking for answers to their questions. I have invited a representative of an extraterrestrial organization called the Galactic Federation of Light to a telepathic contact. This representative's name is Ashtar Shurin. He is responsible for security in our solar system. He is the commander of a massive spacecraft and has many other commanders and smaller spacecraft under his command. One of his missions is to protect planet Earth from threatening catastrophes, invasions, and destruction. He safeguards our planet and us, just like parents protect their children. So, he will be answering your questions. Additionally, I have invited a representative of another extraterrestrial organization called the Interstellar Union to a telepathic contact. This extraterrestrial's name is Toph Irich. So we have two representatives today.
I want to ask this question. What is happening now on the territory of the United States of America? Why are people seeing either alien saucers or objects resembling unidentified flying objects? And what is actually going on?
Ashtar conveys that people see unidentified objects, which are probes or small flying vehicles. They belong both to the Galactic Federation of Light and the Interstellar Union. They fly to demonstrate our existence, so that the governments of countries on your planet make thoughtful and correct decisions and do not enter a nuclear phase of conflict between nations or countries.
And what are these unidentified objects? Are they ships?
No. These are unmanned probes, meteorological ones. Aliens usually use such probes to monitor the meteorological conditions of our planet. They care so much about ensuring that Earth has a climate suitable for living. These probes are glowing. They are like your Earth drones, but ours are robots. There are also other forms, like spheres. Don't worry, they are safe for the population. These probes are absolutely peaceful.
But you said that in your interstellar union, there is a rule that forbids aliens from showing themselves to people?
No, the ban was only on physical contact in the last year. But there are no bans on the flights of our peaceful and safe devices.
Maxim, I understand. Your goal is to prevent a nuclear conflict. What are the prerequisites for this?
Ashtar conveys through Irina. The thing is, among the members of the governments, there are people in their entourages who are also contactees with us, the aliens. These people have chips installed directly in their bodies, and many of them don't even know that they have such chips, through which we can hear what they are talking about. These chips are absolutely safe for them and those around them. We installed the chips for their own safety and the safety of the people of planet Earth. We become aware of negotiations among government officials that they do not publicize to the population.
So I understand. Very interesting. And what do these drones actually look like?
Irina conveys that she sees with her mental telepathic vision. Ashtar Sharan shows me glowing spheres or glowing ovals. They are surrounded by a plasma shell, which is why they glow. And if this plasma shell is removed, they look like discs or like capsules. I don't see any wings there. They are simply smooth devices.
Why do these drones fly mostly in the USA? Why don't they fly over Russia?
They are in the USA, and they also appear over other countries. Over the United Kingdom, Germany, France, Russia, and Ukraine as well. In other words, they appear over many countries. They mostly appear where flights of civilian aircraft and drones are prohibited by law. That is, over military bases, including secret ones, and over centers for the research of nuclear, chemical, and biological weapons. When the workers at these centers see these devices, they report to their superiors, and the superiors report up to the government. For the government, this is a clear signal. For those in the government who are aware of the existence of aliens and our peaceful interstellar organizations, this is a clear reminder not to use nuclear weapons. It's to remind them to be reasonable. If we recall history, aliens have already stopped one possibility of nuclear strikes between the USSR and the USA. They made a secret contact between representatives of the Interstellar Union and the leaders of the USSR and the USA. They were told that they tried to destroy the entire Earth and expose the planet to radioactive contamination, they would lose power, and there would be an open mass contact with aliens. This would be when aliens come to meet Earthlings in order to establish official cooperation, and this would become known to all Earthlings. But right now, people are not psychologically ready for this. People would start to defend themselves and use weapons instead of peaceful cooperation, as fear would be triggered. That is why, at this time, aliens are not making mass contact, but occasionally show that they exist in the form of flying probes, or, for example, crop circles.
What is the likelihood of open mass contact happening within the next year?
Ashtar Sharan telepathically through Irina. 35%.
Wow, that's a high percentage.
Ashtar Sharan telepathically through Irina. Yes. We foresee it in Australia. I want to say right away that we ourselves are not interested in mass contact during a period when the consciousness of the majority of Earthlings is not ready for our appearance, because we understand that this will lead to an intensification of the negative image of aliens. And this negative image will be spread not only through the mass media, but also in religious teachings.
Maxim, is it true that you made contact through radio and television channels? Did this actually happen?
Ashtar Sharathically through. That is true. In addition to drones, there are also devices present in Earth's atmosphere, some of which are manned. Some are piloted by biorobots, while others are piloted by living humanoids who fly in ships with enhanced protection and highly dense protective fields. Some of these pilots independently decide, using special radio beacons, to establish communication channels with your people and transmit information to certain antennas. They do this to show people that it's not just technical devices flying around, but also living beings who are involved in this. Right now, Berghaster has established telepathic contact. Berghaster is an alien who heads the security service of the Milky Way galaxy. The galaxy's security service constantly monitors this situation around the clock. This is not considered mass contact, but rather an announcement of our presence on Earth. This is not only for the government, but also for the broader population. Physical contact with Earthlings is currently suspended, but our presence continues. As a representative of the planet Berhad in the capital of the Interstellar Union, and as the head of the Galaxy Security Service in our sector, on behalf of Berhad's government, I believe that at this stage of Earth's history, this type of intervention is necessary. Without it, the likelihood of nuclear conflict would increase, raising the risk of mass contact and confrontation with the armed forces of Earth's nations.
Maxim, that's really serious. I know that attempts have been made to shoot down these flying saucers, flying objects, and drones. Have they succeeded?
Only small, unmanned ones. These are often launched without protection and fly over oceans. Planes fly in those areas too. The thing is, there are various islands with naval bases and locations where different military ships and submarines are stationed. Our reconnaissance devices, small ones like drones, fly over these areas. These flying biorobots resemble small ships. Some of them have been shot down, but they fall into the ocean at great depths. Later, the point of impact is marked, and our underwater robots from our bases retrieve them. So they don't fall into human hands. Those equipped with protection, however, evade. These devices have programs for recognizing fast-moving objects and instantly changing speed and trajectory, allowing them to dodge attacks.
Maxim, are there any objects among these that were created by our scientists? For instance, some say the USA uses reverse engineering to launch its own objects and pass them off as drones.
I can say that there are Earth-made objects as well, belonging to various militaries and private individuals. However, what I just described pertains specifically to alien objects. Earthlings also launch their own.
What actions might you take if a nuclear threat arises?
It depends on how these military political elites act. If the threats increase, our presence will intensify, including round-the-clock flights over military bases. Our devices might hover over them continuously. If attempts are made to shoot them down, they will either evade or activate a protective electromagnetic screen to neutralize the missile, reducing it to fine dust or fragments. They will not counterattack or establish physical contact, but will continue observing. If preparations for something as serious as a nuclear or thermonuclear launch proceed despite our presence, we will act according to the situation. We might intercept the launch and directly contact the base leadership, even going so far as to lift them aboard our ships using anti-gravity beams.
Maxim, the weapons?
No, the leadership.
The base leadership? Wow, so things could get that serious.
Yes, because we constantly hold meetings about the military threats on Earth that endanger peaceful civilians who die or lose loved ones due to the unawareness and political ambitions of Earthlings. As civilizations that participated in creating your civilization, we believe it is our responsibility to prevent your destruction.
What else can you tell us about the current situation on our planet? What do you think about it?
The situation is that there are significant fundamental disagreements between the egregores of the leading nations, the most politically, economically, and militarily powerful states. These contradictions are substantial, but resolving them and reaching common ground to sign peaceful agreements is entirely possible. However, this requires the will of all active participants, which is not evident at the moment. We understand that peace cannot be imposed by force. Peace must be a request from the spiritual heart, as with love. However, we protect the interests of peaceful residents who desire peace. Many of them pray to God and call upon angels, as well as us. Since people are increasingly aware of us, they often call for our help to protect them and assist humanity in overcoming aggression, not by defeating enemies, but by overcoming themselves in the most harmonious way possible.
I see. Thank you very much. Everyone, thank you for joining this emergency broadcast. At least we've clarified a little about what's going on, whether this is fake or not. It's a real situation happening on this planet, and it's quite hard to believe everything that's unfolding. Tell me, does President Donald Trump know about the existence of extraterrestrial civilizations?
Of course.
Is there a chance he might reveal this information soon?
There's no need for him to do so. He might tell, but it depends on his position and purpose. He doesn't have a goal to disclose it. Why would he reveal it? For what purpose?
I see. Thank you very much to our hosts for leading this broadcast.
This was indeed a short broadcast. We wanted to ask the representatives of the Interstellar Union and the Galactic Federation of Light. I've already received answers that these are their ships being seen, and that people are afraid. But I urge people not to be afraid. Nothing threatens you. I appeal to the people of Earth to not fear if you see our presence in the sky. Nothing threatens you. We are merely showing those unconscious Earthlings who have gained control over nuclear weapons that such toys are better left untouched. Thank you.
Thank you all. Until next time.